Hello, it's Jang here with a look at a LEGO Juniors set, and as you can see right there on the box, it's called Race Car Rally and comes with 350 pieces. The packaging is pretty cool. You get this big old LEGO brick inspired plastic bucket, and inside you just get some bags of parts. So let me get this stuff all built up for y'all. This builds a bunch of stuff. You get 2 cars, a starting light, start finish line kind of thing, a podium, a stand with some tools. You get pylons and obstacles and curbs and 2 minifigures. Let's start with the cars. Car number 1. What do we got going on here design wise? It's a car. It's got exhaust, and it's got more exhaust, and it's got a couple of printed pieces. They're identical pieces there. They're kind of trying to make this look like a bad guy in the set, a bad guy's car and a bad guy figure to go with it. We'll look at the figure a little bit more closely, but it's kind of interesting that they chose to go with the good versus evil kind of theme for just a racing set. I think it would have made a little bit more sense to just have them be more even, so that if you have 2 siblings or something who want to play with this together, they don't have to fight over who's going to be the good guy. I think that it looks good, and these roll really well because the tires are a good size for the weight of the thing, so there's good playability there. There's the other car, a little bit more recognizable, this one, just with its angles and stuff, and you get the rear or mid-rear engine kind of set up. You got the exhaust coming out the back with some flames, readily recognizable wing shape on the back there. The print on this one only gets 1 printed piece, but for some reason that one comes out looking kind of beat up, doesn't it? I don't think it's supposed to be like that. I think this may have gotten damaged in transport a little bit just from kind of shaking around in the box. But I like how this one is nice and low. I like these lines coming across the front. And then you've got your minifigure as the driver. It's got a little bit of contrast there with the green against the red. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at those figures. I like having more different options for torsos, so I think that both of these torso prints look pretty cool. Go ahead and take these helmets off so you can see their faces a little bit more clearly. Both of these are wearing gloves, hence the gray hands. And looking at these from the back, only one of them gets a print on the back of the torso. And then there's the other stuff. Like I said, your start and finish line with the lineup lights for when you're getting ready to go. Unfortunately, you're not really going to fit 2 cars in between there. You can kind of squeeze them through, but it's not really efficient. You can really just put 1 car through it at a time. It's a kind of nice looking thing. I just wish that it was wider. And this is just a little stand to hold on to a tool, which is actually a 2-part tool because you got the other side on that. You got a megaphone here in the dark gray color. You've got a checkered flag, which is also printed. They give you some obstacles, so you can use those to drive around if you want to. But they also give you a couple of large cones, regular traffic cones. And then we also get this podium set up. So once you get your winner of the race, your winner can get the main big trophy. He can stand up there on the top, whichever one is the winner. I'm going to make the blue guy the winner in this case, and then you've got enough space to put somebody else down there, and you still have enough room to put a 3rd minifigure on here if you want to add, got a little extra racing action going on, a little bit of pyrotechnics going on around the edges. And well, that's pretty much it for what we get in this set. It leaves me wanting a little bit more, to be honest with you, out of that whole entire bucket of parts. But oh yeah, there are more parts. 2 whole bags of extra pieces. They do give you instructions to do some alternate builds, making use of some of these extra pieces in addition to parts of that other stuff. It's a whole secondary booklet. I'll go ahead and build those things up and show them to you, and then take you even farther beyond that. See, that's pretty different, huh? Here we've got a black front-engined race car, which looks nice and bulky and kind of muscular. And then you get this tow truck, which is made out of the base of the original red number 8 race car, and that has kind of a tow bar on the back, or you can look at that as just being some cargo, a weight to move around. This can be brought up and down. You can actually lift cars. Not all cars can actually be lifted that way, unfortunately, especially with the the long nose on some of these race car builds. You can kind of get it in there, but it works better if you leave that off, if you just have kind of a shorter end where you're able to actually hook under the front. That works out a lot better. So I guess you could just see the car as being wrecked and missing some pieces, and then you could actually tow it away. But it's nice to get some actual hinge pieces going here, and it just gives you more ideas. That's the whole thing here, is that they are starting off the kid who might not have high confidence in building his or her own creations just yet. They're saying, okay, here's the box art stuff, right? The first stuff that we built, the first stuff that we looked at with the blue car and the blue guy's car and the red guy's car. And then here's some other stuff that you can make. So as you go through the process of building this stuff up, you have to take some stuff apart. You have to kind of rob pieces from some of the other elements that we created originally. And that's really going to help to build up confidence to say that it's okay to take parts from stuff. It's okay to kind of get away from that initial instruction-based build. This is another instruction-based build, but I feel like it really helps to get the mind going in the direction of creating something different by taking other parts and adding other parts in to what you already have. So I think it just gets the inertia going in the right direction. Speaking of which, I want to make a couple of my own race cars here real quick, just using the parts from this set. There, cars. Oh no, they don't look realistic, but I don't care. It can be very liberating just having fun throwing some parts together and seeing what you come up with. And I still have a whole bucket full of parts left over, and now I want to make a spaceship. Boom, spaceship. One of the greatest exploration spaceships ever to travel throughout the galaxy, and it's got multiple modes to it. You've got sections that you can detach. This whole back section can detach to become kind of like a fighter. It has 2 rail guns on the front. Its engines convert between being jet engines for atmospheric flight and rocket engines when you're in space. It's got a tail gun on it for defense against space pirates that are trying to sneak up on you. It's got its reaction control thrusters out on the edges of its rear wing. If you want, instead, you can detach just this front section and use that as its own little exploratory kind of a scout ship, and it's got a big cannon on the front. That in turn can detach from its kind of space frame section to become just a surface rover that can go down to the surface, and it can roll around and it can pick up samples with its little crane in the back. And you've got a water converter that'll convert other elements on foreign and alien planets into water that you can store there and bring back to the ship. And after all that, I still have all of these pieces left over. And it's this big old pile of pieces that makes any set like this great. It's a little bit beyond just a creative bucket, this set, because they do give you full instructions to put stuff together into basically a full-on regular play set, with things that are built up, and it's got kind of a story behind it. They give you alternate instructions as well, which is great, something they used to do a lot in Lego's olden days. They don't do so much anymore, but they've done it here. I really appreciate that. And they still give you a ton of extra pieces to not only encourage creativity, but to allow it. A lot of folks can use creativity, and that's what Lego is about, using your creativity, if you're doing it right, and your imagination to come up with new and interesting things, your own creations. But I have to be honest, and it's just a fact of the matter, if you don't have parts, you're not going to build stuff. You can have 2 pieces and you can say, well, that is now a boat. Okay, that's fine. You can imagine that to be a boat or to be a car. But if you have 10 pieces, you're going to be able to do a lot more things with that. It's just a fact. The more pieces that you have, extra pieces, the more you can do. And that's exactly what they've done here, is they've given you those pieces. So if you have a great imagination, then you can really just take it in lots of great directions and just really get into the core of what Lego is all about, just challenging your mind and coming up with some really cool stuff that interests you personally. So going back to this main original build, this is kind of simplistic. It's nice, it's fun. A lot of kids like to race with cars and you get the obstacles and stuff, but it's all the extra parts that are also included with this set, and also the progression that they take the young mind along from doing one main build to taking stuff off that build and gaining the courage to take stuff apart and to try new things, and then giving you all the extra pieces to let you do whatever you want. I am all for it. 2 thumbs up from me. Lego, please do more sets like this in the future and try to expand this kind of a thing back to other age groups as well. Obviously, I like this set quite a lot. If you have any thoughts you would like to share about this, please do down in the comment section, and I will be talking to you again very soon.